Meadows Museum of Art is going to be hosting this event, Perspectives. It is being held from a collection through the Pojak Group, which are they collect art. These two owners of this uh, management group, from what I understand. Star Williams, the artist that we are talking today, is involved in that. And let me pull up this. So Starry Mike Creations is her Facebook page. She also has other pages, but very much a sci-fi retro style sci-fi artist, and does animal portraits and other paintings too. Not just the space paintings, but the space paintings are really well known. So let me go ahead and bring you guys over to start that interview, and then sometime in the middle of that, we will be doing a commercial break like we usually do. And, we'll just get right back to it after the commercial break. So just bear with me. All right. You guys enjoy. Hello, I'm Brittney Hazelton, and this is ArkLaTex Artistry, where we explore the arts in our area. Today's guest is a local painter that's part of an upcoming show at the Centenary Meadows Museum of Art. Their work always captures the imagination with a bit of a sci-fi flair. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Star Williams. I been just painting my whole life, and only in more recent years really kind of went public with my art. People know me for my paintings that have a sci-fi influence, and specifically for a character I came up with that I had no idea was going to take off. Zap Cat.
It really did, yeah.
Zap Cat. Which will come back eventually. I have been in hermit mode for a while, and I've just been painting whatever I feel I'm capable of painting. But yes, Zap Cat will come back.
I'm sure a lot of people that know that
yeah
figure is going to be happy about that.
yeah.
Yeah, very. I feel like it's for when it comes to that. That's like one of like artists get their iconic figures sometimes, like George Rodriguez and his blue dog.
Yeah,
it's that kind of thing for you,
mm-hmm.
and I think it's something that people just they feel that for me. It's like that whimsical like curiosity, like I love this cat. What would it be like in life to have a cat like this?
Yes, for sure.
So before we go ahead and go on in depth on your work, I just want to tell you your style of painting has always been one of my favorites around Shreveport Bossier. I've always loved your stuff. Very beautiful. It's I captures the imagination, like I said earlier. It really, and sci-fi, one of my favorite genres. So I admire that. Can you tell me a bit about this upcoming show at the Meadows that you're going to be part of?
Yeah, this I was snagged to do the show by Dennis and Devore Polyak. They do the wealth management. They're patrons of the arts. They collect a lot of art, and they wanted just a show of some artists that they particularly like, that they collect.
Nice.
And so I'm one of those artists. I just finished a pet portrait for Dennis of his cat Lucky. And he has commissioned more work from me.
Nice.
And so they wanted me in the show as well. And there's a couple of artists that I recognize. I'm a friend of mine, Mary Virginia Hill, and has her work in there too. So
what other artists are part of that?
Let's see. There, Dr. Pat Sewell. If you've probably, he has he creates these sculptures out of things he finds like around lakes
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I found out his mother was actually Clyde Connell.
Oh.
She she's a popular artist from around here that does the same thing. He grew up around that. Her, using things.
So
from the
kind
natural
of an
environment.
assemblage
Yeah.
sculpture.
Yeah,
like,
it often looks like figures and animals.
Ah,
And
that's
things.
cool.
And let's see, we've got Cindy Singletary, Shelley Taylor, and Scarlett Hendricks as well. It's just we are all very different artists,
Ah,
but what unites us is the polyox.
That's
They really appreciate art.
That's great.
They collect art all the time.
I mean, a very important aspect of the art, of being a professional artist is very much, if we're not like helping design games, if we're not doing those kinds of jobs, gallery art especially, it's important that the collectors are a huge part of that community. Like if we didn't have them,
oh yeah, I appreciate them very much.
right? We couldn't have gallery.
They're such enthusiastic collectors too.
Right.
I mean, they really appreciate the art. They really do, and it seems they don't. So many people are hesitant to buy art because they're like, oh, is it going to match this and that? This is like if they like the art, they'll find a way to display it somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that there's never a collector too small. If you can only afford the little things, it's something,
Of course.
And like the big collectors, of course, like especially ones that are doing like gallery shit, that's amazing that we can even have that around. Like, it's a rare thing. It feels like nowadays, but even the small collectors.
Oh I have people that just collect, my smaller paintings, or just have me do a digital art commission, which I've done. I started doing digital pet commissions, and that's a sort of more affordable way.
A sustainable way. It's also sustainable for you because we got to find little ways to make that money. Not all of us are lucky to sell $10,000 paintings.
Yeah, it takes. It certainly is. I can make more sales that way, and I can complete it faster because I'm not dealing with physical materials. I'm not having to clean up all the mess. So it's wonderful. I'm not spending all that money on materials. It's very nice to be able to do that. So that's the way I sell most of my art these days. Someone wants a digital pet portrait or a digital portrait.
Yeah, the digital's definitely the way more affordable for us.
It is. I love that.
People, you gotta understand when you're purchasing a painting, all that material that it costs us to make
People
that.
have no idea. I've had people make offers for my art, and it didn't even cover the cost.
It doesn't. They don't account for the amount of time it takes either.
They don't. They have no idea. Everyone's used to, I guess, just buying from, Hobby
the
Lobby
home
sales
store or something.
Something like that. And
something
they
that's
have
mass
no
manufactured.
idea. No idea whatsoever. But the digital is great and especially if you have no space in your home for anything, you can have it. You can have something that is on your computer, an iPad,
A little
that you
tablet.
can just, a little tablet you can just enjoy.
Like me, I do it on my phone. It's like the most compact way to, and mobile too. So you can just be out and about and drawing.
And people can just enjoy it on the wallpaper on the computer or whatever, without having to have space to hang it up. So.
Or just get it in a print.
Yeah,
put it on a website as a print.
They can get it as small as they want. The print, they can have
affordable too. So another thing I wanted to talk to you is like, how would you describe your style of painting?
Well, let's see. I was heavily influenced by science fiction illustration. As a kid, I was always very fascinated by pulp science fiction book covers.
Yeah, like the old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I definitely got that vibe from your
yeah,
work. Yeah.
I'm fascinated by that. You know, sometimes there were books I would read, but sometimes it wasn't about the book. I remembered the illustrations more.
Because they really put you in that.
Yeah, I'm just, it, I like that. I like really that space fantasy where you have the different archetypes and you have your imagination gets to explore. I'm always exploring ideas and philosophies, and I love exploring just the imagination. I love science fiction for how it showcases the human imagination. Just like I'm fascinated to know what might be out there in the cosmos, but I'm even more fascinated to think about what the human mind does with
What
that.
do we imagine?
Yeah,
is
and that
out
tells
there?
us something about ourselves.
Yeah.
What we hope or think we might see.
Yeah. Is it hope and like adventure, or do we imagine doom and destruction coming
Yes.
down upon us from
Yeah.
it? You know, I think that's an interesting thing because it kind of does tell you what kind of person someone might be, what they might imagine is out there, you know, if they imagine anything is out there other than space, you know. But I like to imagine that there's crazy, fantastical races and worlds.
Oh yeah.
That's me personally.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I write a little sci-fi fantasy, and then like I always incorporate like, okay, there's this entire planet, this race and their culture and what they're like, what's their technology level. You know, I like to fantasize those
Oh, yeah.
types of things.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
love that.
this-
I love that about sci-fi in general. You know?
Yeah, and you know, with fantasy, it generally pulls from the past. With science fiction, it's just
Oh yeah.
it could just like what could be that never was,
Oh, yeah. My
or that
concept
we've never
with it-
experienced.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And my concept is like, well, you could have a world that exists out there that is in what we would consider like the past. But then they live and thrive off magic and, still have swords and archaic. But then, like, what if a race that is space came and invaded that planet?
Oh yeah,
Like,
I
what
think
what
about
kind
this
of weird interaction would that be?
Oh yeah. And yeah, I was from an early age fascinated by Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. Star Trek's good.
Yeah, Star Trek, and just since I was a kid, and I was captivated by the idea that we could one day, as a race, advance to where we've moved beyond just surviving and competing to where we're actually coming together, with a common goal to explore and learn, and it was just to me, it's like, oh, I hope we can be that. I don't know if we can, but I hope we can be. And
I do like how Star Trek, it's almost kind of like semi-realistic aspect of what could happen in the future for our race.
Yeah, if we ever get over ourselves.
Yeah, and the conflicts we have with
Yeah,
ourselves.
the pettiness. If we can ever
if we
get over
unify
pettiness.
as the
Become
human
a
race.
little bit more enlightened,
Yeah, exactly. But so is there any so you're obviously influenced heavily, is there any specific writers that you can, or stories that you remember that influenced you heavily, like more heavily than others?
It's hard to say. I was Paul Anderson's writing was fascinating to me. When I was in high school, I was fascinated by Isaac Asimov's Foundation trilogy.
Yeah.
I was really into that. of course, that it was interesting how it uses historical concepts, but in a
Yeah.
future setting. That really grabbed my imagination.
Yeah, I think my big influence kind of was surprisingly H.P. Lovecraft because
Mm.
space horror, cosmic horror was like a big influence on a
Hmm.
lot of things that I do now. So I get it though. And also that time period, like back then, before we real, some like especially the older ones, like before we had space flight, even
Hmm.
like what did were they were imagining then? You really kind of capture, it really captures like what does the human mind think that's out there,
Hmm.
even before we had space flight and knew the sciences behind it. Like that was interesting to me. Um, so, can you describe your process for me
Yeah.
for maybe from start to concept to finished work? How did you get there?
Oh, well, it's funny. What I have over the years created like this library in my mind of images that fascinated me, and they all kind
Mm-hmm.
of come together and stew in my mind, and I'll get like flashes of just visions of in my mind of what.
So you're a very
Yeah,
visualizing
yeah.
artist, which is good.
It'll
That's
like come to my mind. Sometimes it'll come to my mind as I'm falling asleep, and I have to wake myself back up. It's like at least got to do a little, at least write a description of what I saw, so it'll bring it back to my mind. That's always frustrating. So
yeah.
I
You
wake
always
myself
gotta
back up.
kind of write the notes.
Yeah. So I have all that inspiration that is always stewing, but then it'll come together in a vision um, that is unique to me. But I can look back and see how it draws from all my influences.
Yeah.
Um, sometimes I don't have that, but I'll have just a general feeling, and I'll just sort of go abstract for a while, and then something will merge,
Yeah.
and then
The
I'll build
vision
on
starts to
that.
develop from that
Hmm.
way. So
Sometimes that happens.
okay. What do you mostly paint with paint in? All right, guys. So here's that commercial break, and then we will get right back to the interview from there. All right. Enjoy after the commercial, of course. All right. So, what mediums or types of paint do you work in?
Well, primarily I work in acrylic, also oil. I do that almost as much as acrylic simply because a lot of people love oil,
Yeah.
especially. I love acrylic though because I can quickly create lots of layers. They dry fast. I love
Yeah, that's why
using.
I prefer acrylic myself.
I love that because I love painting in multiple layers, adding depth. I love that.
Yeah, and honestly, they have all these different mediums you can mix with
Yeah,
acrylic.
I like that.
That gives it the texture you would want from oil. I feel like
Right.
you kind of can.
You can do whatever. I think a lot of people don't realize that you can do whatever you would do with oil, you can do with acrylics.
Yeah, pretty much. I've never actually worked in oil, though it does look like very
Yeah,
interesting.
it takes a while to get used to if you're only used to acrylics. You can speed up the dry time with drying mediums. So you can do that. So you're
Okay.
not waiting absolutely forever, but it's still not going to dry as fast as acrylic.
Yeah, I think there's actually a medium too called slow dry for
yeah.
acrylic that you can actually add to
You
do
can.
the same
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Because I know that the good thing about slow drying, you can keep working it a bit
Yeah.
before.
And that
it
helps.
is.
And
Yeah.
you can blend very well, very much more easily that way.
Yeah. So okay, well that's cool. And you also are doing the digital now too.
I'm doing the digital a lot. I didn't think I would ever like doing digital until I discovered the Procreate app that I have on my iPad, and I can just
people use it.
it just feels like doing painting. The stylus isn't exactly a paintbrush, but it has all of these. I have all of these brushes on the app that look a lot
Oh yeah.
like the effects of brushes.
Yeah.
So I love
there
that.
are literally artists that just make brushes for
Yeah.
other artists
yeah.
to use.
And I
which is
appreciate
really
them.
cool.
I buy their brushes. So I want them to keep doing that. But yeah, I love doing that. I never would have thought I would like digital art. I struggled with that. I used to have like a Wacom tablet and, on the computer. I hated that. I tried to like it. I tried that for years and just like, no, I don't think I'll ever do this again. But then Procreate on the iPad, like, okay, that's wonderful. that is a wonderful creative experience.
Yeah, I personally I use a Galaxy, and what I use is Medibang, which is like this. So it's almost Photoshop like, but that and Clip Studio Art, Procreate, those are all great. I personally won't use Photoshop anymore.
Yeah.
Because Photoshop has this new terms. I don't know if you know about
Yeah, I
it.
know about that. I've stopped using them.
Where
when I
they're
found out
like,
about
hey, if you want to use our program, you got to allow us to use it in our AI. I'm like,
oh, yeah,
wow.
screw that.
I was like,
Screw
that's
that.
kind of a
Nuh-uh.
betrayal there.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
dropped them like a hot potato
Yeah.
for that.
I'm glad because when I was a teenager, I used to use Photoshop, but I always not a legit. It's a cracked
yeah,
version,
yeah.
you know.
I know
As
what
a
you-
kid,
yeah.
you find the ways
Oh, yeah.
to use those expensive programs. I'm glad I never legitimately gave them my money personally,
Yeah.
because now seeing what they did.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
It's kind of like DeviantArt too. They kind of betrayed everybody that was ever on that site ever.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they loaded all of that into AI.
Oh yeah, that's
everything on the
frustrating.
site.
Yeah, I was on there for a few years. I still have a profile up there. I
Me
haven't
too.
even thought about it in years.
Luckily, the stuff that is on there is so old. It's like from when I was a teenager trying to develop any kind
Oh,
of skill
okay.
at the time. So I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all can have it.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
have
it's
some
old.
professional.
You know
work
what?
up
It's
there, so
probably
it's
going to
frustrating,
ruin your
but yeah.
AI. In my opinion. But, that's, yeah.
Yeah, it is annoying. I've got professional work up there, and
That
sucks.
Yeah, it sucks because then you know that it's going to be used. It has been used to train some AI that some people are just going to be able to type a word and
Oh, I know.
generate. And that's the thing. What people don't understand is it actually does cut and morph that art that it knows into the work that it's generating.
Yeah.
It's
But
not.
even before that, I would see some of my favorite artists' work slapped on something on Temu.
Yeah.
And it's just, I still see that nonsense. They're not, it's
See,
from
that's
some
just straight
Chinese
stealing,
company.
you
Just
know.
straight stealing. Our work always gets stolen. I just,
It's sad that,
people don't care.
No,
It
they
seems. I
don't.
wish I could get people to care. Like, well, I get this at a discount.
Just let me go into your house and take your
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
See how
yeah.
you feel about it, and you can see it on Facebook Marketplace being sold to someone else.
Oh yeah, I
You see how you
recently even
feel.
saw
Yeah.
someone just put all the work into creating a whole tarot deck. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
a whole tarot deck,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're going to sell it for a little bit of an expensive price. They're putting
Yeah.
all the money into their production.
Yeah.
I see it on Temu for like $10. I'm like, oh, they've printed.
Wow.
It only took months for them to steal it.
Wow. That's
And this creator did
that's
amazing
sad.
work too. I was just like, oh my god.
and what's difficult is that's a company that's overseas, and like how
Yeah,
are you
we can't
gonna
do it. They
how are
can't
you
do
gonna
anything
do
about it.
anything legally to
And they're in
that
China.
company?
You can't do anything
Exactly.
about it.
That's
just,
and,
oh my
and
God.
most artists can't afford a lawyer to
Oh, no,
fight
no,
something like
no,
that.
and you can't. The Chinese aren't going to care.
No,
can't do anything about
it's yeah.
But yeah, it's frustrating to see that. But I just like, well, I would rather have my stuff stolen than just worry about it and just stop creating and putting out. I'll do what I can to not patronize.
If people really care about
Yeah.
your art, they'll come and
Yeah,
find
they
you and
will.
buy it.
There'll always be the takers that just take what they can. But
Yeah.
there's also people who appreciate what we do.
Exactly.
And so I do it for them.
I think that's what local community, it's important to be part of your local community as an artist too, because you
Right,
could be online and build your following that way, but if something happens and your stuff is stolen, but where can you keep selling your art? Build it a local community around that
the
too.
local community is very important.
It's a foundation for us.
And of course, people who know you and love you aren't going to steal your stuff.
Exactly.
And they're going to always support you, even when the online worldwide community will not.
Yeah, definitely. So, tell me a little more about your icon, Zap, the cat.
Zap Cat.
So, how did Zap become a thing?
Oh, that's so funny. It was a summer. Summers are so hard for me, especially when I was dealing with a lot of problems with my autistic sons. They were unmedicated at the time, and I was losing my mind. I tell you what, I couldn't create to save my life.
Yeah.
I had a little canvas, little 8x10 canvas that I was just staring at, and eventually I just started crying. I was like, I can't think of anything. And my husband David, he's just like, just do something easy. It doesn't have to be good. And I remember I just asked people on Facebook, it's like, what should I paint? Somebody mentioned something about a cat. I think they maybe said third eye cat. It's like, well, I don't feel like we're doing a cat with three eyes, but like cat. I love cats. I could do a weird cat. I thought, oh, I love aliens, of course.
Yeah.
So I just painted, it was very simple. It was just sort of a portrait of an alien cat, and it had this little string of UFOs behind him.
Oh.
This little alien cat, the
Little
antennas,
antenna, yeah.
the little antennas. It was very, very simple, just a little cartoon. And I was just like, well, that made me happy, at least. It brightened my mood a little. I didn't think anybody would care about it, but it's like it got me to paint. I posted a picture of it online, and everybody it blew up. Everybody was just like, wait, I want to see more of this character. Tell me about this character.
Oh.
And I'm like, this is a thing now. I didn't know this was going to be a whole thing.
Hey, cats are already beloved as it is, but then you make it really unique and make it alien. I can see why, it blew up.
Yeah, and the more I painted this, developed this, it's very much influenced by my spicy little black cat, Minnie, and her catitude. And Zap Cat became like a representative of my more mischievous, whimsical side.
Oh,
And yeah, it's so a part of me gets to come out and play
nice.
when I paint Zap Cat. A
Aw.
part of me gets to come out and play and explore and be mischievous
And just be more happy when
yeah.
you're doing it.
I needed that. I needed that escape so bad. Zap Cat was my escape from everything I was suffering with. The happier my art is, the more you know I'm suffering.
Oh.
That's the way it is. If you
Because
see
it's your
something-
therapy.
yeah,
It's your
it
release
is.
from
It's
that.
my escape. It's I get in my little UFO as a cat and I fly away. And you know I'm escaping from something when I'm painting a lot of that.
I think, I mean, the best art comes from our suffering.
Oh,
As
yeah,
bad
it
as it
does.
sounds as artists, like,
It's true, and for some people, it's painting that suffering in a very real way where people can feel it. But sometimes we just need to have a little hope and escape, and and use our whimsy to help us survive.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's kind of, I mean, it's natural. We as artists have learned that the therapy of art is really a key to survive. I think that's why some of us create in general. It's like if we need it. It's just part of how we survive in this world.
It's funny. Since I was in high school, I had people created a nickname for me, Space Cat, because I was.
And
spacey.
now your iconic
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah,
Space
it's kind of
Cat.
funny, Space Cat. Because I'm a little spacey.
It's a little irony. there,
Yeah. I'm an Aquarius moon, so it fits. I'm a
Aw.
little spacey. And I'm very, very much always been a cat person. Of course, I love dogs too. I love animals.
Oh yeah.
But I'm very much a cat type person, so it fits me.
Very nice. So what do you hope people generally take away from viewing your art?
Well, I hope that it sparks their imagination and maybe brings them out of the mundane a little bit,
Yeah.
and helps them maybe get in touch with their sense of wonder,
Yeah.
their sense of wonder and adventure.
Well, so how can people follow you on social media and maybe buy your art?
Yeah, well, you can easily message me on Facebook. I'm on there a lot simply because most of the people in our area are on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok a lot.
It's because we're an event city and the best app for events.
Right,
is definitely
right.
Facebook.
That's why I use Facebook a lot.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
they say old people use it, but I mean, I use it because the people in this community
Use
are
it.
on Facebook.
It's a Facebook city.
But
Yeah.
it's called Starry Mike Creations is the art page I have on there.
All right.
And yeah, I post there. If you want to buy something you see or you want a commission, I've been taking pet portrait and portrait commissions. I've got some ongoing large commissions, but I will, there'll be a list. But I've got some
You got the
ongoing ones.
queue.
Yes,
you'll be-
but so I mean, if you need it right away, it won't be done right away. But because I've got other commissions. But yeah, you can find me there. You can find me on TikTok. Let's see, what is my handle on TikTok? I can't even remember, but I am on TikTok. Let's see here. Star Williams Zap Girl, at Star Williams Zap Girl on TikTok. I post my art and just me rambling about my life, and I post pictures of my animals that keep me sane, my cats and my dog.
No.
Um,
So people can get a little peek in what the influences in your regular everyday life are.
and my very important opinions.
Well, I think it's good to follow local artists on things. Support your local art, share their work, share the videos. Those things are important to keeping artists going. When we get even if you can't buy work, at least sharing our work
Oh
and
yeah, I
talking
don't
about
think
it.
people realize how much sharing and liking and engaging
A little
matters.
comment, yeah,
That because even if you're not going to buy something, buyers will only see it if the algorithm lets them, and the algorithm's only going to let them if people are engaging
yeah,
on the
exactly.
post.
So always no, even if it's just a little bit of a comment like "love
Yeah,
this" or
yeah,
something like
that's all it takes.
even something as small as that is can make
Oh
a
yeah,
big difference.
it makes a huge difference. And you know if what the way it works once something's posted, if people don't immediately start engaging with it, Facebook will bury it.
Yeah, they will.
So it's like just click, say cool, like it, something.
Yeah,
It doesn't. You don't
anything
have
else,
to.
share it, especially if you can
Yeah,
share it.
sharing it is amazing
Yeah.
because then it gets to people that normally wouldn't see it.
Yeah, people
So,
that you don't follow you
yeah.
already get to see it, and if you see a friend sharing an artwork that you like, you're more likely to go in and
Oh yeah, I've
follow
gotten
that
plenty of
person.
sales because someone shared it and
There you
their
go.
friend wanted something. So
Oh. So, is there anything else that you would like to say to our viewers before we go?
I'm not sure. Just thanks for having me, and I hope you can when you can enjoy the show. It'll be going throughout most of September.
Okay.
I think it's over around the 26th, I think. But for most of September, it'll be up.
I'll make
Not
sure
just
that all these details definitely will
right,
be in the
right.
article
It's
for
not
you.
just me. Some other
Yeah.
artists that are wonderful and certainly worth your time.
Yeah, I'll have you send
All
me that
local.
list of the artists. I
For
can
sure. Yeah.
try to dig in and find their social medias to link into the story as well. All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and talking to me, Star. I'm glad we had a chance to talk. Your work has always been very fantastic, and I'm happy we have someone creating something like that in this area. Because it's one thing we have a lot of artists that paint things that are based in what's real, more realistic based. But I really love seeing that fantastical, more imaginative artwork. And when you told me that you visualize things like that, I was like, yeah, very big sign of people that can visualize things in their head is a lot of times their work is more fantastical.
Yes.
That's because we can kind of think beyond that reality that, a lot of people are, focus on. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this, I admire that quality about
Thank you.
So thank you again for coming and talk to me. And if you have any other big projects, make sure you let me know.
For sure.
And maybe we'll talk again about other projects you have.
For sure.
All right. All right, guys. So that was my interview with Star Williams regarding her retro fantasy art as well as her pet portrait work. Here you can see some of her fantasy, the sci-fi art here are really cool nebulas. We got spaceships in space, alien worlds, very much fantastical. She gave me a print of this one. I absolutely love that whole old retro spacesuit woman shooting an alien. That's really cool. Her Zap Cat series is what we were talking about. She got a lot of response to her Zap Cat, and they really are. It's this cat it's just a lot of adventure, meeting with deity versions of themselves or command or on spaceships exploring space or seeing aliens. It really is just, fantastical. I believe this is the painting right here that she was talking about the one with the cat and the ship and all the other ships following behind it. But yeah, Zap Cat is really cool. Definitely check out her Facebook page, or her website page here, starwilliamsart.com to see more of her work. All right, guys. Thank you again for stopping in and visiting with me. Definitely come check me out on Facebook. Brittney Latrice Hazelton, our Sizica, right there. On Facebook, look for this interesting version of me right here. Yeah, add me. I'm always posting other art events and extra information about things going on. Um, I also share my articles that I do for each of these interviews. So you'll see the article later this today coming for this interview. I do full length articles with picture references and quotes from the actual interview itself. Of course, watching the interview, you're going to get a lot more out of that. But visually, the articles are great to see the visuals from that. And thank you guys for stopping in. Find more of my articles and videos on KSLA.com under the podcast section under ArkLaTex Artistry. I have a full section of all the articles. Anything art related I write. Sometimes I don't necessarily have a video for, and for all my videos. You can find us also on YouTube under KSLA's YouTube under playlists, ArkLaTex Artistry. You can also find us on Roku, Apple TV, anything that KSLA has a stream app on, you can find my stuff on. All right, guys. Thank you again so much. Remember, like, share, and follow other artists' work and help promote each other. And if you are someone just interested in collecting art, check out my videos. Check out the artists I talk to. So there are a lot of great local artists that are worth collecting in this area. And if you are interested in having real art on your walls, not just like a mass manufactured print from some random store, check out those artists. Reach out to them. Find their articles. You can find the artist, search their name with KSLA, and you'll get my article pop up. and guarantee it if I've interviewed them. And you can find the details on how to contact them. And if you want to collect their work, that's a good way to do it. Even if it's just a print, it's someone local, All right, guys. Take care. I'll have a recap of this at 11 on Wednesday, and then next Saturday, of course, we're gonna have another artist. This artist that I plan on interviewing tomorrow, Sunday, that will be next week's interview, is a very interesting one, and I look forward to talking. It's about a craft we haven't exactly talked about yet in this, a type of art style that is a little bit fashion. So it's going to be a fun one. All right. Bye, guys. You have a great weekend, and I'll see you around.